I wanted to talk you through the Do Good Group Project, what it is, why we're doing it, and how it's going to unfold over the next few weeks. This is the major group project for the course, and I want to say up front that it's intended to be manageable, structured, and maybe even a little bit enjoyable. You don't have to memorize any of the details or all of the details from this video, but the goal is that by the end, you understand the big picture of what this project is and what your group needs to do. The reason we're doing the project is simple. Organizational behavior makes the most sense when we experience it. So in this project, you're not just reading about leadership, communication, conflict, and coordination. You're able to actually do those things in a real group with real constraints and with a real problem that you care about. You're going to work with a nonprofit or community organization or identify a problem that just needs some help, and it's ideally going to be servicing Southern California. You'll design a small-scale project, carry it out, and document what you did and what you learned along the way. We're going to be doing one thing well and doing it as a team. So at its core, the Do Good Project is a team-based service learning project. In groups of 4 to 6, but probably 5, you'll identify a community partner or a beneficiary in our community that you think you can make a difference with, define a realistic project, and then execute the project. And realistic is the key word here. You're not expected to fit a massive project into your really busy everyday lives. We're not going to be solving any massive systemic problems here, but we're going to be making a difference in our community. You're expected to scope something that fits within your time constraints, the size of your team, the resources you have access to, the things that you care about, and what you think is reasonable for this class. The emphasis of the project is on execution, coordination, and follow-through, not being perfect. One thing I want to highlight is that this project is intentionally structured around how groups actually develop. We'll move through the stages of forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning, and each assignment is designed to support you in that specific stage. This means I'm not just going to turn you loose at the beginning of the semester and then never check in with you again. If group projects have gone badly for you in the past, this structure is meant to prevent a lot of those common problems that you might have had before from happening. At a high level, here's what your group is going to turn in over the course of the project. Early on, you'll create a group contract so that expectations and roles are clear. You'll pitch your idea to the class and write then a formal proposal afterwards. The pitch is kind of a temporary idea of where you think things are going. The proposal is, okay, here's what we're going to do with our project. We'll have 4 in-class sessions where you'll be doing group work, and you'll submit agendas before that in-class session to make sure we're on track and so that we're not just wasting time during those in-class sessions. It also helps me stay in contact with your group so I know what you're having success with and what you might be struggling with. Toward the end of the semester, you'll create a social media post that documents what you did, and you'll give a short impact brief during our final class session. We'll talk about each of those things as we go, but today is just about orientation. I want to pause for a second on the final presentation because this is important and it might have spiked your anxiety. Your impact brief is not a high-stakes, polished, sales pitch type presentation. It's just like a professional debrief. What did you do? What worked? What was hard? What was easy? What was enjoyable? What did you learn? What would you recommend if this project were continued? It's short and focused, meant to provide us with closure, not a huge amount of stress during finals week. Okay, let's look at a few examples of projects that have been completed in the past by another professor's students at another university who ran a somewhat similar project. I'm not trying to give you a list of options here or standards that you're expected to hit. These are just examples to show you the kind of scale and variety of what a meaningful impact could look like for this group project. What I especially want you to notice is not the numbers necessarily, but how the shape of the impact looks. Some of the projects are focused on direct service, like volunteering or supporting people in a face-to-face context, while some are focused on fundraising or resource collection. Some address communication or organizational capacity, like social media and outreach, and others combine a few of these things. None of the projects tried to do everything. They were choosing something that fit the group's time, skills, access, interests, and then they did it intentionally in a somewhat short amount of time over the course of the semester. Your project does not need to look like any of these in particular. What really matters is that it's a realistic project, you're well coordinated, and it's clearly connected to a real organization or community need. Another big stressor is transparency transparency and accountability. After the social media post, you'll complete a personal evaluation. It's confidential. It's designed to reflect on the adjourning stage of the group work. Looking back, you'll make sense of how your group functioned and document contributions. Reporting uneven contributions does help me make sure that grading is fair and that our efforts are recognized appropriately. So it's more about realism as opposed to punishment. The last thing that's important to know is I'm not going to formally assign this project in class with a long lecture. By watching this video, we're saving that in-class time for me to answer your questions, for you to get to know your peers, and for you to just get started on this work. I've posted all the assignment descriptions on Canvas, which you can skim. That'll allow us to be productive on our Tuesdays as opposed to using it just to explain logistics. So for now, your only responsibilities are very simple. First, make sure you understand the big picture of this project. Second, come to class ready to talk with your group about ideas, questions, next steps. You're not expected to have everything figured out right now. Take a look through those assignment descriptions, but just be ready to take things one step at a time together with your group and with me.